Let's talk about a single sentence that carries the weight of an entire possible future for the war in Ukraine. Former President Donald Trump, in a recent interview, looked into the camera and said he was, quote, a little disappointed in President Volodymyr Zelensky. And the reason wasn't about battlefield strategy or corruption allegations. It was because, according to Trump, Zelensky has not read the details of Trump's own secretive peace plan. Now, to understand why this is such a significant moment, we have to unpack this from every angle. First, there's the immediate human element. Here is Zelensky leading a nation that has been under a brutal, full-scale invasion for over 2 years. His cities are rubble, his people are dying, and he's constantly rallying the world for support. And from across the ocean, a man who could very well be the next American president expresses not sympathy for the plight, but personal disappointment, as if Zelensky forgot to review a memo. But the real meat of this is in the subtext, in what's being said and what is being deliberately left unsaid. Trump's peace plan is the ghost in the room. He has alluded to it for months, claiming he could end the war in 24 hours, but has refused to disclose any concrete details publicly. The only hints we have are from associates and his own vague language, which often revolves around the idea of Ukraine ceding territory, namely Crimea and the Donbas region, to Russia as a starting point for negotiations. It's a plan that fundamentally rewards the aggressor and forces the victim to concede land taken by force. So when Trump says he's disappointed Zelensky hasn't read it, he's essentially setting a public trap. For Zelensky to engage with, to even officially acknowledge such a plan, would be political and national suicide. His entire mandate, the reason for his immense global moral authority, is based on the principle of no concessions, no trading land for a false peace. If he were to be seen studying a plan that involves giving up sovereign Ukrainian territory, it would shatter the unity he has painstakingly built at home and legitimize the Russian invasion in the eyes of many abroad. Therefore, Zelensky's refusal to engage isn't an oversight. It's a deliberate and necessary survival tactic. He cannot afford to let Trump's undefined plan become a formal part of the discourse, because doing so immediately normalizes the idea of Ukrainian land concessions. It moves the conversation from if Ukraine will give up land to how much land Ukraine will give up. And this is where Trump's comment is so strategically clever and so dangerous for Ukraine. By framing it as a personal disappointment over a procedural issue, "you didn't read my plan," he paints Zelensky as unreasonable, as unwilling to even consider peace. It subtly shifts the blame for the war's continuation away from Vladimir Putin, the man who started it, and onto Zelensky, the man defending his country, for not being cooperative enough. It's a classic negotiation tactic. Paint your counterpart as the obstacle to a deal. This single remark is also a stark message to the world, and particularly to Europe. It is a preview of a potential Trump second-term foreign policy. It signals that under Trump, the unwavering support Ukraine has received from the United States could become highly conditional, transactional, and tied to a peace formula that aligns more with Russian objectives than Ukrainian survival. It puts immense pressure on Ukraine now, today, to perhaps make desperate moves before a possible change in the American administration. Ultimately, this isn't really about a document Zelensky may or may not have read. This is about positioning. Trump is positioning himself as the deal-maker who can end the war, positioning Zelensky as the stubborn barrier to peace, and positioning Ukraine's territorial integrity as a negotiable commodity. And Zelensky, by staying silent on the specifics of the plan, is positioning his country's sovereignty as the absolute, non-negotiable line. These two positions are on a collision course, and that disappointment Trump expressed is the first public crack in what may become a monumental fracture in the Western alliance's approach to this war. The groundwork for a very different chapter is being laid, right now, in these words.